It's a Tuesday night college lacrosse clash here in North Carolina between the Georgetown Hoyas and the High Point Panthers, all here on ESPN+. He's Jimmy Rosselli, I'm Mike Guerierre. Overjoyed to be with you on this Tuesday night matchup. It's a clash between these two sides. The High Point Panthers, a very confident team, and the Georgetown Hoyas coming in hot today for this game. It's going to be a great opportunity, a great showcase for both sides throughout the entire season for the Hoyas. And you look at the High Point Panthers as well in Zach Overend, another youngster in net. It's going to be an action-packed affair here at Vert Stadium. And a technicality off the X. Looks like Colin Hoban went early, and the Hoyas get the first offensive possession.
Little early attack there on Hoban's side. Georgetown's going to gain early possession and do what they do best, slow the offense down, take their time, use every second of that shot clock, and try and make something happen.
Here's the Hoyas early as they get the ball right back at X to Aiden Carroll. Carroll guarded closely by Joy, and it appears Graham Bundy is going to draw Zach Brenflack of the Panthers. Here's Ray. The double comes, and Corey O'Connor sticks with some stout defense. Across the middle, Hoyas! Low and away, Zach Overend makes the save.
That's something Overend does really well, as he uses his body. He's not just a stick kind of goalie. He loves to use his legs and his upper abdomen to try and save those balls, and he does a great job with the kick saves, and we just saw it there. Oh, net's going down.
It's like John Adams got his stick caught in the net. That is something that I have never seen happen in a lacrosse game.
Unusual.
I've played for 12 years, and I have never, ever seen something like that happen. That's pretty interesting. As we'll take a look at that shortly, possibly after this offensive possession. Here's the Hoyas inside. That one right into the stick of Overend. Krogan calls for it up top. Draws the pull on the run. That one goes wide left. And chased out of bounds. It looked like High Point had it, but Aiden Carroll is there to scoop it up.
That's my favorite things about the Panthers defense. They left the layout for those balls going out of bounds. Try and be the first one there to gain possession for the team. You saw John Adams lay out there. But no good for them as Georgetown kept possession.
No angle shot goes wide right. Vidaro, the all-Ivy Leaguer. Here's Carroll. Flicks back up top. Here's back to Carroll. In the middle of the field, the bouncer goes. And the Hoyas strike first on the road.
Beautiful move there from Aiden Carroll. Coming across the middle, ripping that shot low. And sneaks it by Overend. This is a guy who now has 12 goals on the season, 3 assists. Here it is again. Low to high shot. Low bouncer, sneaks it by Overend. He had 3 straight games with a hat trick earlier on this season. One against John Hopkins, one against Pennsylvania, and then the last one against Notre Dame. He was a big player in that Notre Dame game, giving his team the lead before Notre Dame tied it. And then he got the overtime winner, which was the big upset and the talk of the lacrosse world all last week.
A lot of upsets in the ACC, and we'll get to a little bit of that later. But here's the Hoyas off the face-off win from James Ball. And Aiden Carroll possesses it in the box for the Hoyas as they'll just pass it around and possess as that second midfield line trots out on the field. Here's Joe Cesar. Guarded by Campbell Posen. Gets to the middle of the field. And a yard sale. Campbell Posen selling long poles.
What a trail check there.
And how about that ground ball on the far sideline to keep the Hoyas back in offensive possession?
Seems to be down in the middle of the field there, Mike. Posen took a big swing at that stick. We saw the yard sale going, but he doesn't look like he's feeling too well after that one.
And he went down after that check from Campbell Posen.
I mean, he swung that stick hard.
It was a tough check. Definitely not one you want to eat, but great to see him back up on his feet. The sophomore having himself a nice season. And we'll see a replay of what possibly happened to Mr. Joe Cesar.
Looked like Posen trailed him and took a big, big whiff at it. Almost reach into the sky. You'll see it right here. Yeah, there it is. Big pow. Oh, it was the hit after, actually, from what it looks.
Charlie Paxton delivering the blow there. There wasn't a whistle or a flag called.
Just kind of knocked the wind out of him, I think.
Interesting that they didn't review that one. But the Hoyas here with a fresh 60, and they're back on offense with a 1-goal lead. So we get almost 5 minutes into the first on the doorstep. A nice feed and finish. And the Hoyas with a 2-goal lead here at Vert.
What a find there. It was a straight cut there by Chase Lulewin. Coming down the middle, down the alley. An even better find from Cade Goldberg.
Llewellyn.
Once again, those straight cuts were a big reason that they actually got that win over Notre Dame. They were running down the alley, finding the open man. And they're doing the same thing here today against High Point. Textbook find there.
Chase Llewellyn finds the soft spot in the defense and secures another goal for the Hoyas, as James Ball has so far taken the battle at the X. This ball finds Graham Bundy, and what a year he is having. He's got limitless range, and we watched him in warm-ups, and Quinn Kesnick said it as well in the Notre Dame game. He's got some serious firepower on his behalf. Not a very accurate shooter, but boy, oh boy, can he let it rip. Not a shot I would want to get behind.
Yeah, you see it on TV, and you're like, wow, that's flying, but in person, it's just a rip. Almost putting holes in the net every time he takes one. Very talented player.
It's Carroll with the invert at X. That ball goes wild, and Brent Flack scoops it up, secures the ground ball, and here's the Panthers moving the other way.
Beautiful GB by Brent Flack there. Earning back that possession for the Panthers off a missed pass there. Looked like almost miscommunication. He might have moved a little too quick, thought he had it early. Tried to pull a hesitation move, and Brent Flack took all advantage over that one.
So here's the High Point Panthers' very first offensive possession. Tommy Meehan dodges down the right alley. If there's one thing that this Panthers team has, it's a serious showcase of some speed and could cause these Hoyas a serious problem today. Tommy Meehan, one of those, shots in over the cage. And Jack Van Overback is there to back it up. Van Overback draws the #1 guy in Ty Banks, but the pick gets the shorty. Two-man game at X to Meehan. And that's what the Hoyas did so well against Notre Dame. They slide with authority, and they slide right to your stick. As that feed sent inside for Jack Sawyer. One more to Rizzo. And it's unable to find him, and Nick Murphy backs it up.
Shot clock running low here.
Under 4 seconds now here on the shot clock. The Panthers.
Oh!
They got it off! Unbelievable! They got it off with 1 second left to go. Rizzo finds Braden Maye, and the Panthers within 1.
How about that, Mike? What a find. You had 4 seconds on the shot clock. Maye starts cutting. He knows there's only one chance to get this shot off, and that's if Rizzo gets the pass there quick enough, and he does. What a finish. Little Jeter crow hop on that one. 2-1. Georgetown leads.
He's a highlight reel no matter what. Braden Maye can straight up play, and he puts that one in the back of the net.
Yeah, 21 goals, 10 assists. He's now got his 22nd on that one. Just a fantastic player. A guy who played box lacrosse his entire life. Got the stick skills there, took it to the field, and boy, has he made an impact for the Panthers.
So a hold That led to a push at the face-off X, and now the Hoyas back on offense. They've controlled majority of the possession here in the first quarter.
That's what they did so well against Notre Dame as well. Took their time on their possessions. Kind of forced Notre Dame to feel like they had a rush when they got the ball on offense. And they were just punishing them with ball movement, finding the open guy and finishing the opportunities.
There's another invert look at X as Tyler Barrett draws the assignment. Inside, rings off the pipe. Scooped up by High Point. John Adams had it, and it goes right back to the Hoyas. They had numbers for a moment. High Point recovered well. Switch comes as Lang takes Caesar. There's TJ Haley who flicks it back to X. A stellar facilitating attacker for the Hoyas. Pass on the doorstep. No angle. And denied. Zach Overend says no.
What a save by Overend there. Using the body, as I told you in the beginning, Mike. He's a guy who just loves to use those legs. And there you saw it. Kind of doing a full split there on the ground. Hit him on his inner thigh. And boy, oh boy, what a stop that was.
And here's the second midfield line out for the Panthers now. They have numbers. As the substitutions come in a little bit late for the Hoyas. But the Panthers will look up to set offensively under 50 on that shot clock. Here's Ryan Hines with an invert look at X. Hines gets upfield and denied by Anderson. Clamps it in between his legs, and here are the Hoyas pushing into the middle of the field. Wild pass from Halpert, unable to secure it, and the Panthers get a lucky break.
Not a pass you want to fumble there. Had him on transition. You just got a little bit of momentum off that big save by Anderson Moore. And a little easy pass, just went off the top of his stick. Rolled out of bounds, and now the Panthers get their possession again.
What a game we have so far on our hands here in the first quarter. As the Panthers get ready for their third offensive possession, here's Tommy Meehan. Here's Vano at X, the most confident attacker of the group, a stellar finisher. Sends that one left of the goal.
Yeah, Van Overback had 5 goals against Syracuse. He was the big man on campus that game.
It's an 8-point day for him.
Oh, yeah. Kind of sparked some momentum for the Panthers. Kept them in it for a while, as I said in the pregame. It was a 9-8 game at one point after going down 7-0 in the first quarter.
Here's Rizzo with another invert at X. The wraparound. Nick Rizzo finds the back of the net, and we're tied at 2 apiece.
Nick Rizzo with the big man move right there. Little wraparound from X. Here he comes. Contacts on him. Got the stick on him. He took advantage of the shorty there. Beautiful finish from Rizzo. That's his 10th goal in the season. Leads. He's 3rd on the team for leading in points. And he's showing his talent.
Step aside here on ESPN Plus for our first local break. We'll be right back. 5-75 overall record, and he's the man leading the charge for these 2 young men, Braden Maillet and Jack Van Overback. 21 goals. That's 31 points throughout their 5-game slate so far. That is an incredible stat line to come across for Braden Maillet.
They're the 2 biggest offensive players for this High Point Panther team. Just puts their team on their back sometimes. Maillet had a 9-point game against VMI that one time, which was just incredible. We called that game together, Mike. It was an entertaining one to watch, to say the least. And Van Overback, we talked about him earlier, 5 goals, 3 assists against Syracuse. Was a big reason they stayed in that game after going down by so much. I mean, Syracuse is no joke. They're a tank of a team. And to stick with them, that's a flex in its own way.
And Coach Torpy called them a bear of a team when we got the chance to speak with him. Obviously, Syracuse, a tough opponent, but they played them well. They played them tough. And obviously, that third quarter, they almost had it. Here's Braden Maillet. nowhere to go. Tommy Meehan lets one fly right into a Hoya defender. And they'll clear over the midfield line into their offensive zone. Here's Graham Bundy. And the Hoyas will flick it over to Haley, now back up top for Darrow.
This is what Georgetown does. Slows it down, moves the ball. Love to play their game. And that game plan is working, to say the least, in the past 2 games.
Ray getting a step on Brent Flack. And then just flicks it over to Krogan. Fedaro back to Krogan. Fedaro gets the short stick matchup. Flicks that X to Carroll. Up top to Krogan. No look there. Great show from Jacob Joy. Under 20 on the shot clock for the Hoyas. Two-man game up top with Haley and Bundy. Krogan fires right into the stick of Overin. And he dumps that off to Mudlaff. And they'll look to get another clear here.
Krogan had the space on that shot to get it off. Let a hard sidearm rip go, but Overin, he's tough to get one by, and he made a big save there.
That second midfield line out there for the Panthers again. They can run some serious offensive sets with that 2-2 with 2 guys at X. A lot of scissor cuts when you have this line in here. Morton Weeks in front. Can't get that one to fall.
He got that one off as quick as possible there, Mike. Underhand shot.
Almost didn't look at the goal before he got that shot off. Saw it into his stick and let it rip.
Oh, yeah. No hesitation. Just missed it wide.
And over back at X. Here's the invert look up above goal line extended. The big little with Colin Cook. Goes right into Van Overback. He gets up front. Sawyer! He scores!
Van Overback with the big play there to get that ground ball. And not just shoot right away either. He looked right over the field. His IQ is so high as a player. To see Jack Sawyer on the other side, knowledge with the fact that Moore might not be able to move that quick. Gave a little one toss to Jack Sawyer, and he finished it on that left side of the net. That's the unselfish play of the High Point Panthers that helps them find success against higher level opponents. Boy, oh boy, that IQ is big, Mike.
You hit the nail on the head there to recognize that that shot clock is creeping under that 10-second mark and to just get that ball out, find an open guy, and he finds Sawyer, and he sprinkles a little bit of sauce on this field. And the Panthers, they have a 1-goal lead here in their home stadium of Vert.
A 1-goal lead over Georgetown, number 10. Not easy to do, especially as High Point when you're unranked. Georgetown quarterfinalist last season. Kind of have a whole new look for the offense here.
Down the alley, Bundy. And there's the speed on that shot. He can change levels like no other. He's a Tewarton finalist. An exceptional player that the Hoyas have on their side of the ball. And he can do just about anything. Inside roll, finish in front. And he's got that limitless range, as I've said multiple times. The sophomore flicks it back to TJ Haley, under 20 on the shot clock. The facilitator gets it back up top to Aiden Carroll. He fires and scores. A 2-piece for Aiden Carroll here early.
We talked about how good he is at facilitating, and there it is right there. Coming down the right side, rips a sidearm shot top right. Over end, a guy who's looked pretty good so far in net, just couldn't stop that one. Nice, powerful rip there from Aiden Carroll. Again, he was the big player in that Notre Dame game, and he's showing it here. 2 goals already in the first.
Initially won by James Ball, but Luca Accardo comes up with the big ground ball for the Panthers. It's that first midfield unit back out on the field for the Panthers. You got the speed in Meehan, the shiftiness in Rizzo, and the firepower behind Nick Murphy's absolute missile of a shot. Give him a little space and he'll absolutely unload. Here's Meehan down the right alley. Keeps his head up. Gotta think he's looking for a pass inside. Got a lot of inside scorers.
That's where they found their success so far this game, off the pass. Gotta think Meehan was thinking to keep that going.
It's Braden Maye up at the midfield line. Down the left alley. Unbelievable! Braden Maye finds the back of the net.
Braden Maye joining that 2-goal club. What a move that was. Coming down the left side, had a stick of space. It was on his right shoulder. It was Godine's stick right hanging on the right shoulder. It was a tough shot to get off. He had another guy sliding up on him.
There's no angle there.
That's the talent. That's the talent, Mike.
Unbelievable. Braden Maye, 2 goals on the day, 2 shots on goal. The Canadian. And we've talked about this all season long, Jimmy. His progression as a player from freshman to now senior year was mostly notably known his freshman year as an over 30 goal scorer, thanks to Asher Nolting, helped facilitating a lot of those goals for him down and around inside on the crease. And now we see him adding a dodge to his arsenal. Never played field lacrosse. Here's Krogan.
Yeah, we've talked about how he's improved on every single statistic across the board since freshman year. So it's just a player who's worked very hard to get where he's at. This season, he's averaging 6.2 points per game. That's an incredible statistic for a guy who pretty much runs your offense on the High Point Panthers. 2 goals already today. Career high of 8 goals this season.
And that shot clock hits 0, and the High Point Panthers with a slim 1-goal lead to end the first. We'll be back for more second quarter action here on ESPN+. Don't go anywhere. It's been an absolute chaotic week in college lacrosse, and this upset was absolutely part of it. Number 19 Georgetown at the time took down number 1 Notre Dame at Notre Dame. What a way to do it, taking down number 1 at their home field. Obviously, the hero in that game, Aiden Carroll. But one thing I want to point out in particular, a freshman in Ty Banks was able to shut down the Kavanaugh brothers. Those 2 guys are exceptional scorers, inside finishers. They wreak havoc off of unplanned situations on the lacrosse field, and Ty Banks only allowed 1 goal apiece for that duo. And there is the man in charge for the Hoyas, Kevin Warren, in his 12th season as the Georgetown head coach. And he's had a tremendous run in the Big East Conference. Here's the Hoyas as we get ready for second quarter action here on ESPN+. If you're just joining us, I'm Mike Guerierre alongside Jimmy Rosselli. Was a nice first half for the Panthers. Braden Maye getting them up on the board and building them this 1-goal lead. As the Hoyas now on offense, they dodge down the right alley. TJ Haley, a tough pass inside for Carroll. And he had an opening, but he collects that ground ball. And here's the Hoyas with numbers. A quick, fast break. Fired into the goal. Jordan Ray. And we're tied at 4 apiece.
Look at that ball movement. Jordan Ray getting it on the wing there. Full power into that one. Letting it rip. Overhand stood no chance on that one. This is a guy who started all 5 games. He's got 8 goals on the season. And when he receives the space to get a shot off, no doubt he's going to finish it. He had 5 goals in the season opener versus Loyola Maryland. He already matched his last season high of 8 in just 5 games, Mike. Talk about improvement as a player.
Here's Luca Accardo applying some pressure on Wallace Halpert. But they're able to get it out to another defenseman in the freshman Ty Banks. And here's Krogan into the middle of the field to Haley.
I was mentioning this earlier. This is a whole new look for the Georgetown offense. They lost Jacob Kelly, Brian Minikis, Declan McDermott, Tucker Dornovic, Nicky Solomon. All big players for Georgetown last year. And they had a reset this year. There was some questions about how they were going to find success on the offensive side. But as we've seen, when they play those big-name teams, they can do it.
They step up to the occasion for sure. Obviously some big holes to fill. They got it done in the transfer portal, and there's Krogan ripping one towards the goal, and Overend makes the save. Nice ground ball from Luke Derman. And here's the Panthers going the other way. Jacob Joy flicks it into the middle of the field for the short stick D-mid. And the Panthers get the ball back on offense. They're trading punches right now, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah, back and forth so far. That's the fight of the Panthers that we talked about in the pregame show. There's a never-give-up attitude in that locker room. Big reason behind it is that guy right there, Braden Maye, number 55 in white.
Damian Raimondo with the invert look at X. He gets the big little look. Here's Rizzo with the backhand. And the Hoyas pick it up. Ty Banks loses it again. Still being fought for. And Ty Banks finishes that ground ball off. What effort from the freshman.
It's a well-battled GB right there. Get the possession back for your team. You had a couple guys on it. Coming up with it for your team is big.
It's a gritty play on the far sideline as he collects that ground ball. Fought through numerous high-point defenders. And he gets the Hoyas the possession. Here's the ball in the far wing. Now at X with Haley. Guarded by Brent Flack. Trying to get the invert look as Mudlaff gets at X inside. Denied on the doorstep.
There's Overend again off the chest. Using the body.
Overend with another stellar save to keep the Panthers in this game. And both of these defenses holding it down.
6 saves already for Overend in net. Most of them at the doorstep as well. Tough saves to be made for him. Starting off well, though.
Zach Overend from Annapolis, Maryland, went to St. Paul's High School, along with fellow alumni for the Panthers in Timmy Troutner. Another exceptional goalkeeper along the line for the High Point Panthers. Certainly have had some stability in net. What a move from Vano. Unable to get that one on Cage. He had his defenseman rocking. It's Ryan Hines up top with the short stick. On the run, fires. Left of the goal.
And Overend had the space there on that move. Those quick feet, great footwork. Came across that left side, looking for the wraparound shot. Just came off the stick weird.
Here's Cook showcasing some of his speed. And they're going to call that one a pass, not a possession shot. Smart call from the official. Ty Banks backs it up, and here are the Hoyas as they get ready to set up and yet another clear. No unforced errors so far that we've seen. A couple mishaps, but nothing too crazy to affect this game. Ty Banks easily clears that to TJ Haley, and here's the Hoyas. Under 60 on the shot clock. Vidaro takes the matchup at X, the All-Ivy League selection, the second-team All-American.
Yeah, he's been a big transfer for the Hoyas. Coming from Princeton last year. Has made a big effect on the offensive side for them. Big save by Overend there. As he let that sidearm rip go.
Hoyas pick up that ball once again, and a fresh 60 after that shot on goal. Aiden Carroll up above goal line extended. Flicks it up top to Bundy. Bundy can't find space. And a miscommunication with his stick as Ian Kane grabs that ball with a speedster on the midfield line.
Yeah, look at him run. Short guy too, but he's got some wheels, Mike. Scored his first goal against VMI. First career goal.
Hey, you can thank Jack Van Overback for that pass and that goal from Ian Kane. But here's Jack Van Overback at X, flicks it over to Braden Maye. The powerful duo that these Panthers have. There's Tommy Meehan, who struggled with some injuries throughout his career here at High Point, finally making an impact here at Vert Stadium. 2 goals in each of his first 2 outings this season, a 2-goal game versus the Duke Blue Devils, and obviously a game that High Point played very closely. Here's Rizzo, the shifty guy, a shot finds Vano, and that pass can't find the stick of Meehan as the Hoyas push transition with numbers. They've got a pole on offense. Here's Graham Bundy, and man, Halpert would have had the assist if that shot hit the cage, but it's backed up by the Hoyas, thankfully, from Haley.
How about that big hit from Corey O'Connor on that left side? Laying the body there.
He had one of those in the Syracuse game, and we'll see the big blow. He's not afraid of contact. It's a big-time freshman stepping up on this Panthers team. He plays off the wings, but he's a menace for the ground balls as well. It's a really nice addition to the face-off unit for the Panthers.
No fear on that attack.
Absolutely not. Right-hand shot hits the stick of Overend. Carroll guarded by Joy. Doesn't need the pick. And he sneaks that one back.
I like that play. I really do. Carroll saw the screen on his left side. Faked left, went right. Didn't use the screen given by Goldberg. Came across that middle. Rips a sidearm shot. What a goal that was.
What a nice rip it was from the Hoyas as they now have the lead. And we'll step aside here for another quick break. Taking a look at the most recent poll that was put out and some shakeups in the top 5. But we're ready to go here with 7:11 left to go in the second. A clean face-off win from Colin Hoban. And here's the Panthers ready to fire away.
Only down 1. You got plenty of time before half. It's going to be very unique to see this unfold here, Mike. A special matchup on our hands here.
It's a new addition to that second midfield line in Justin Wickstead. A shifty midfielder that Coach Torpy absolutely fell in love with when he was on the recruiting trail. Here's another invert look at X for Colin Cook. So he dumps it right back to Jack Van Overback. And there's Ty Banks to apply that quick pressure. Here's Braden Maye with a short stick. That pass knocked down by Ty Banks. Goes off the stick of the Hoyas, and it stays with the Panthers.
Van Overback didn't even know that ball was going. Kind of looked around in confusion. Good stick check there.
Up top to Sauce. And he sends that one wide left and loses his stick in the process. Braden Maye gets that invert look as well. Big little with him could cause some problems defensively. Inside for Cook, somehow sticks with it. And gets that one to fall. Colin Cook with a stellar goal. And we're tied at 5 apiece.
How about that find across the alley? He had 2 defenders on him. Somehow, Colin Cook got his stick on it and was able to get the space to finish the shot. He had a high bouncer, honestly. It bounced almost at the crossbar. A little bar down shot. Colin Cook lighting it up here.
I just don't think he realized that ball was in his stick. He kind of just went with it. The natural reaction is to kind of look down at your stick and see, oh my God, do I have the ball? Colin Cook, in fact, did, and he finishes right in front for the Panthers. And we're tied once again. This lead has been traded back and forth throughout the entirety of this first half.
Big body laid down there. Jacob Joy. It was a high pass. He had to reach his long pole all the way up, and Joy just threw that shoulder in.
And a timeout on the field called by head coach Kevin Warren. A smart timeout called as you just want to hold that possession, especially when you got a pole in Wallace Halpert striding down the field. So the possession sticks with the Hoyas, but so far, these Panthers trading punches. And we've seen a tremendous amount of upsets so far in the NCAA Men's Lacrosse League. As we talked about earlier, number 19 Georgetown took down number 1 Notre Dame in overtime. Aiden Carroll, the hero in that game. Obviously UPenn taking down number 1 Duke the week after. And a stirring in the rankings with number 15 taking down number 6 Johns Hopkins. And Denver is currently your number 1 team in the entirety of the Division I lacrosse spectrum. Obviously Inside Lacrosse, Lacrosse Network, and the NCAA website have all put out their rankings, and Denver falls atop at 1, as well as Georgetown hanging there in the top 10.
Yeah, pretty unique to see Denver at 1 there. They were 15 in that matchup against John Hopkins, and they get all the way down to 1. Something interesting to point out here is UPenn beat Duke, and that was a big upset. You look at Georgetown's schedule. Georgetown beat UPenn earlier on in this season. You got to think Georgetown has the talent to stick with Duke. Now, UPenn did a great job to lock down Brennan O'Neill and hold down some of that top offensive skill level, but you think about Georgetown's defense, it's not something to look over. They definitely have a shot against a big-name team like Duke. It should be interesting.
We saw Army take down Syracuse as well in another overtime thriller. There's a lot of upsets this week for the ACC, and the High Point Panthers tried to join the bunch, but they came up just a little bit short against Syracuse at the Dome, and that was their first time playing at the Dome, and an interesting traveling trip for them as well. Took about an hour-and-a-half bus ride to Rochester and woke up at the crack of dawn, 3:30 in the morning, to hop on the plane back to High Point, and on a short week for both squads. The energy is present out on the field.
Yeah, to have energy after that kind of a trip. Very surprising, but it goes with the fight that these High Point Panthers display and kind of live by. Always hustling. You see their bench, their sideline, I should say. It's always screaming, no matter what play it is. They're going nuts.
Funny enough, Coach Torpy in the post-game presser against Syracuse called his team, as well as himself, a group of unwanted orphans, which is an interesting thing to say the least, but in the grand scheme of things, it absolutely makes sense. They're not a team that dipped their toe too much in the transfer portal. They're born and bred, homegrown, and they're just trying to get things done in the A-10 as well. Obviously, all eyes are making the tournament in May. Wraparound goes for Jack Van Overbeck, and the lead goes right back to the High Point Panthers.
I didn't even see that shot coming. Coming all the way around the net, taking his defender behind him. This is the speed of the High Point Panthers that we talked about. Got in front of his defender. 40 in blue there. Dylan Hess was right on him, gave him some contact after the shot. But Van Overbeck gets it off and goes 5-0 past Moore. High Point gets that lead right back.
It's a smart recognition at X to realize that you got a midfielder on the field, not even a short stick D-mid. So you take advantage of that opportunity. Van Overbeck beats it with speed, and he's one of the most accurate here as Anderson Moore steals that pass, and he's going to take it down the field himself. quickly gives the Hoyas this offensive possession. And they've got quite a crowd out here in Vert Stadium. Only a 5-hour drive down here to High Point, North Carolina. So good to see a great fan turnout here on a wonderful Tuesday night in Vert Stadium.
It's also Greek night here in Vert Stadium. You see some other things going on down there. A lot of fans.
Doorstep feed doesn't go. Overin makes a stellar save once more.
Big play. He's up to 8 saves now, Mike. Been a big reason this game is so close.
And there's a timeout called on the field.
Love it.
Could be on the docket.
Would love it.
But we're only in the first half of play. 2 quarters left to go. And 3:10 left here in the second. And a fresh 60 for these High Point Panthers. So there's Ty Banks once again applying the pressure on Van Overbeck. Here's Hines. Gets the short stick at X. And a nice defensive effort. And a 2-slide from a shorty as well. Maye, low to low. And wow, Halpert. Give him the save on the stat sheet. Dives in front of that shot.
The guts on that kid to jump in front of that. Maye doesn't have an easy shot. He rips it.
Sauce to Maye. Oh, he's so silky smooth. And that ball rolls out of bounds.
Oh, he's so silky smooth, Mike.
Well, the face dodge got his defender going the other way.
Comment. Had to hold in my laugh for that one.
It's Meehan up top. No angle for him. Now passed around back up top to Rizzo. And he finds Jack Sawyer, who has found his way into the starting lineup for a few games this season.
It's good defense there.
It's great defense right there from Godin.
Sawyer's stick kind of got caught on his helmet there, trying to pull it over his head.
And another timeout called by Coach Torpy on the field. Jack Van Overbeck as Ty Banks flies right through that pick set by Meehan. And what confidence in this coaching staff for him to draw the #1 assignment throughout the last 2 games. Here's Meehan's shot on the run, an easy save for Moore.
I don't know if I love that shot there, Mike. Meehan coming across the middle, he was kind of deep out to take that shot. You had plenty of time on the shot clock. Meehan's a guy who can score from anywhere. Usually a very smart player. One of the smartest on this team when it comes to lacrosse IQ, but had the speed to get the space off. I just don't think the distance there was exactly what he wanted.
Was an all-county high school football player at a Havre de Grace, Maryland. He even got a Division I football scholarship for himself, but he decided to go the lacrosse route, came here to High Point, was a bit of a positionless player, a face-off guy in his freshman year, and then some injuries throughout his sophomore and junior year. As I've said a tremendous amount of times, Tommy Meehan steps into this year hungry, and he's performed.
He's a very dependable player, to say the least. You said it, he suffered some injuries.
Haley to Vidaro. The quick 1-2 punch. Goes over the cage, and it's Aiden Carroll to back it up. Trying to avoid that invert at X. And a missed pass as Mudlaff takes advantage. The Panthers have numbers. Maye can't finish. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. And the High Point Panthers once again lead to end the first half We'll be back here on ESPN Plus for our halftime stats, highlights, and updates. We'll be back. And we'll see if Aiden Carroll can continue his hot streak as we get ready for the third quarter action here on ESPN Plus. We'll be right back. Forgive me, we'll be right back into the game. That faceoff is won by Georgetown. And they get the first possession here offensively in the third. Here's Vidaro, guarded by Barrett. Split dodge and rolls back to find Krogan. Long pass to Bundy. He dodges on Brent Flack. Nothing there. Now back up top. The trail check from Mudlaff sends that ball flying.
Oh, great stick check.
Way to come over the top from Tyler Barrett. John Adam follows in behind. And here's the Panthers with another stellar defensive stop. This team is 15th in the nation in caused turnovers per game. And a spin move in the middle of the field. Mudlaff pushing transition.
Oh, what a save.
Stop. Anderson Moore denies that shot.
At the doorstep, Mike.
Right in front. What a save from him. And you like the extra pass from Tommy Meehan. You rarely see Maye get stuffed like that. What a save. What a stop.
I was just about to say that, Mike. That's where they score most of their goals. Maye, Van Overback, all the stars on the offensive side.
Those unsettled
for the
situations.
Panthers. They love it at the doorstep. The little hesitation moves. They'll make the goalie jump, get on their toes, and then try and sneak it around him. And he did exactly that. But what a stuff that was from Anderson Moore. Playing patient.
Barrett takes Llewellyn. He gets around him. And Overin with another save. As that shot on goal differential is vastly similar. So we have Georgetown winning the ground ball game here. Slide comes from Lang right to Carroll.
Another stick. Stick's flying, Mike.
Everywhere, and that shot flies. Graham Bundy can let it go from just about anywhere. And a 15-yard step-down rip. It ties this game at 6 apiece.
We talked about how he can rip it from anywhere. The power of Graham Bundy Jr. Right there. Going low with it this time. Sneaking it by over end. This is a guy with some incredible statistics. 57 games with a point out of his 59 games played at Georgetown. He's missed 2 games where he has not had a point in his career. That is incredible.
He can stay healthy and pack a punch when do so. A 2-point day for Graham Bundy.
Got 131 goals on his career.
It's amazing. No push called there on Colin Hoban, but here's Campbell Posen. Quick inside. The short stick D-Mini scores. The D3 transfer finds the back of the net for the Panthers.
How about answering back? How about answering back, Mike? The punches are continuing to land back and forth. Scoops up that ground ball in a scramble all the way. Overhand shot down the alley. Give that kid some credit.
And Campbell Posen goes right down University Parkway and puts that one in the back of the net. Here's the High Point Panthers with another 1-goal lead. Hoban goes early, and the first face-off reps for Matt Riley. As he goes 1-1 on the day off a technicality.
You've seen him go early a couple times now, Mike.
It's the nerves. It's a tough game here. There's a lot on the line for these High Point Panthers. You're coming off a short week. You play a lot of ranked opponents in your non-conference slate. Coach Torpine loves to ramp up the strength of the schedule. And they've got a really good team here this season in 2024. And they've been able to stay in this game and keep it close. Here's TJ Haley working on Mudlaff. Back into the middle for Bundy. He fires into the stick of Overin, and he's quick out to Lang. Lang sticks with it, and he finds Jack Sawyer. What a nice sequence of events for High Point.
You saw Bundy's move on that attack. Little left to right hesitation, came off the move with a ripper of a shot.
And we got our first flag down on the field as the Panthers will just continue with this offensive possession. Here's Meehan, flicks it back up top to Vano. That one trickles into the stick of a Panther. Nick Murphy lines it up from outside and sends that one to the right.
That was a powerful shot of Nick Murphy that you were talking about. He can rip it. It was good ball movement by the Panthers to give him the space to do so. Two guys took some big hits on their passes. Got it to Murphy in time for the shot, just missed it wide.
So the Panthers EMO trots out there as the Hoyas go man down for the first time. It's a 30-second penalty on Graham Bundy.
You think this has got to be a big opportunity for the Panthers to extend this lead.
This is huge for them. A quick play here to get us out the gate. You don't necessarily see them facilitate a lot of their EMO attack from at X. They like to give it up to Vano and let him pick and choose his spots. As they get it around the horn, right back up top to Vano, flicks it to Maye. Here's Rizzo in front, and a quick goal for High Point. A 2-goal lead, and the biggest lead of the day is built by High Point.
Unbelievable ball movement on the offensive side. Look at this little toss to Maye. He slides it to Rizzo at the top of the alley and rips it low. It's like a skipper, like you're skipping a rock on a pond, Mike. That was gorgeous for Nick Rizzo.
Dare I say it? Smooth as silk.
I like it. I like it. I might have to adapt that into my arsenal of sayings. Smooth as silk it was.
The ball movement, the tempo from the Panthers. The whistle's blown, and Tyler Baird thinks that's going with High Point. But it looks like there was another early whistle. Hoban might have went early there once more. But the Panthers with a 2-goal lead. The biggest lead that either squad has built in today's game. So the Panthers on a 2-0 run. As the lights start to go down here at Vert Stadium, the intensity continues to increase. It's getting a little bit harder to see those blue jerseys out on the field, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, but you got to love games under the lights.
Absolutely. It poses for an incredible atmosphere. Here's Aiden Carroll in front. Can't get that pass on the stick. And it finds Overin in the crease, and here's Barrett to clear. Tyler Barrett, a graduate student, finds Jack Sawyer, and here's the Panthers. Offsides. An unfortunate change of events for High Point. Gets Georgetown going their way. Fires and scores! The step down rip finds the back of the net. And Jordan Ray gets another goal in today's contest.
Big hop step into that one. Full throttle and a snipe and a half. Top left corner. These Georgetown guys could put a hole in the net with some of the power they got.
And certainly they pick up the slack with that heavy offensive firepower that they have. Not a very fast team, but they can put it on cage and do it very accurately. James Ball wins that one out to his second exit, and he collects that ground ball for the Hoyas. It's Ty Banks. He finds Vidaro in the middle of the field. Here's Bundy taking a dodge on John Long. Gets inside, hands free. And that shot wide. And the stick of Mudlaugh is going to give the Panthers the ball. What effort to chase it out of bounds.
Yeah, that shot was a little forced. Bundy had a little bit of space, but it was good defense by the Panthers. He tried to let go an underarm shot and missed it wide, and overrun with the hustle to get there. Gain possession for your Panthers. Chance here to extend this lead.
That first midfield back on the field for High Point. They're getting a large amount of the run today at the midfield line. Here's Van Overback at X. Still drawing the assignment of Ty Banks. Here's Meehan and Maye, the 1-2 invert. Set up dodge for Meehan, shot on the run, collected by Moore. And here's the Hoyas the other way. Godin. Here's Aiden Carroll. Gets turned around by Jacob Joy. And it was Jack Leary on that clear. That gave the Hoyas this offensive possession. As Llewellyn will just hold the ball at the top of the box. He gets it over to Goldberg. Goldberg back up top for Bundy. He lets that one fly. And another save for Overend.
Got 10 saves today, Mike.
Double-digit saves against the top 10 team is one thing to put on that resume. Is that something you put on your LinkedIn? I don't think so.
I might throw it on there.
Possible resume builder right there.
Something to talk about.
That'd get the employer talking for sure.
Yeah. Get a little conversation going about your goaltending in college. 10 saves against the top 10 team. Something to rhyme.
And it's funny, I've seen bullpen catchers for AA baseball on LinkedIn as a job you can apply for. The experience, high school level, and got to be in the local area. So if anybody happens to have some experience in the local Lewisburg, Pennsylvania area, their AA team is hiring. As Braden Maye somehow manages to sneak out of that chaotic situation, and Seamus Foley intercepts the pass. And a trip in the middle of the field called. A rightful flag thrown. As Ryan Hines will put the High Point Panthers man down for the first time. And this EMO for Georgetown is what really brought them back into that game versus Notre Dame. They can stretch the field, and it just takes one simple pass for them to catch your defense off guard. Here's TJ Haley. Zips it over to Caesar. Ray inside, swarmed, double teamed, and another flag flies. Gonna stick to the head as that shot flies over the cage. Aiden Carroll looking for his fourth on the day.
2 flags on the field right now.
A 3. It's gonna be a 4-on-6. 2 penalties from the Panthers. Curious to see if they got Corey O'Connor as he went for that over-the-head check, the slash to the helmet. So there's the first trip, gets the minute penalty for Ryan Hines. And then they're going to give a 30 to Campbell Posen, as he was in part of that triple team to swarm the ball to get that second flag thrown.
Unusual. Now it's a big disadvantage for the Panthers. You're 2 down.
And they'll go into their box formation in their EMO down defense as Tyler Barrett is out there with a pull. Zayden Carroll up at the top for the Hoyas as they use their time wisely. Here's TJ Haley. And turned away by Brenflack. Haley at X. Inside for Ray. Denied. And the Panthers get it out into their offensive zone. What a clear for the Panthers. Mudlaff rips it.
I don't mind that shot.
Not at all. That's a possession shot. Gives High Point the ball. And Georgetown.
Very smart.
What a job from High Point on the penalty kill. Under 10 seconds left to go on the minute penalty.
It's a great job by Brenflack there to force the offenser back when he was on that offensive side. And that almost caused the turnover a little bit. It led to it. And then on the turnover, they had a beautiful fast break. And then a great shot there by the Panthers to keep possession off a tremendous backup. And you kill the rest of the man up that the Hoyas had.
Here's Vano back up top. Finds Jack Sawyer. And he puts that shot on goal. So 60 seconds on the shot clock once again for High Point. And here's Tommy Meehan at X. Jack Sawyer back to Maye. He finds Meehan. Meehan gets Leary to guard him. Has drawn that assignment pretty often today. The slip cup. Tommy Meehan in front. Oh my goodness! A Sports Center top 10 save from Anderson Moore. Back-to-back saves. And Jimmy, I can't believe that what just happened.
Are you kidding me? That was 2 saves right in front on the doorstep.
He just put his stick up.
It was the most athletic play we've seen. That was incredible. Anderson Moore, the freshman, a freshman.
From
what a play.
Birmingham, Alabama, not a lacrosse hotbed, but he is making an exceptional impact.
Huge impact with that
here
one.
In today's game, both of these goalies keeping their side in today's contest. Quick move from Vidaro as he sneaks by Posen, but that 2-slide comes. Here's TJ Haley. Brenflack gets through the pick, and he rolls back. Goldberg guarded by Posen. Vray fighting through the contact. Carroll loses his stick. And playing without his stick, the whistle blows, and High Point catches another lucky break.
Look at that save.
Another save. He just puts his stick up. It's just a reflex.
The first one was off like the low leg, and then he hops up on 2 knees.
He denies,
extends the right arm.
Denies Braden Maye on the doorstep twice. Now that's something you add to your LinkedIn reel.
It's another conversation starter.
Here's Ryan Hines. To Maye, he loses that pass. And to his fellow Canadian in Morin Weeks. Right back to Sawyer. Loses the ball.
Just lost that one. Good move, though.
Ty Banks with a strong ground ball. Finds Seamus Foley. And the overpass. Finds Chairs. And he'll send another one to Foley into the middle of the field for the Hoyas. And a lot of open field for Leary as he just flicks that one over to Aiden Carroll.
Got a game on our hands right now. Back and forth. Anderson Moore with those 2 saves was a bit of a spark for the Hoyas. They've been dry for a little while here. That could be a little bit of a starter for them. Only 53 left in the third. And you got possession.
Time winding down here in the third quarter. Shot clock still in effect. Under 30 left to go. Here's TJ Haley. Gets upfield. And throws it right back for Goldberg. Goldberg with a short stick. Now here's Carroll all alone at X. Under 10 left to go for the Hoyas. They got to get a shot off. Haley finds on the inside, and what a look for Joe Cesar. With 15 left to go, the Hoyas tie us up at 8 apiece.
How about that for a prime-time goal, Mike? Joe Cesar coming across, ripping that one, and they take it. Tied at 8 here, Mike. We're going to be right back here on ESPN+. We'll take a short break. Don't go anywhere.
Ordinary at High Point University.
Fighting for that ground ball right now after the initial face-off win from James Ball. And Luca Accardo battling it out. No push called as Luca Accardo hits the turf. But here's Halpert, the ripper, the pole. And Overin makes another stellar save. Is that 11? That's 11 saves for him.
And talk about a snuff. The power behind that one. He tried to get it off in time. There was only 15 seconds for him. It was closing down.
And that would have
And he
gave
just made a big
the
save.
Hoyas the lead as well. As we'll step aside here once more as we get ready for the fourth quarter. We'll be right back here on ESPN+. Face-off here in the fourth quarter. Knockout punches being thrown by both teams. But here in the fourth, it all matters who delivers the final blow. As we get ready for another face-off here. Matthew Riley tries to win that face-off, scooped up. But a nice shoulder thrown in the middle of the field as Hess collects that ground ball. Moving quick to the cage, and wide left it goes. And 71 on the shot clock for the Hoyas. Back up top to Bundy. As we change sides of the fields, Georgetown offensively on the left. And the High Point Panthers offensively on your right. Here's Verdaro, guarded closely by Barrett, and he stuffs that one past Overin. Almost no angle on that shot. And the Georgetown Hoyas, in 40 seconds, take the lead back.
How about that for a rip? Princeton transfer, ripping that one down the right side. As we said, he's all Ivy last year. Comes here to the Hoyas, and boy, oh boy, a difference maker. Has a goal in every game this season, Mike. Every game.
Second team All-American last season. He's got 1 goal in today's contest. Showcases a lot of speed from the midfield line, but he plays just about every position. This is a positionless spread that we have seen from this Georgetown offense. Just about every attackman and midfielder will either go at X, get that invert look, and try to create some open passes. They scissor cut a lot on the inside for Georgetown, and it pays dividends where they can get the open look. But here's Aiden Carroll. He's got a hat trick in today's contest. Back up top to Bundy, limitless range. Over to the left. And obviously what comes with limitless range is sometimes the inability to be accurate.
Yeah,
TJ Haley.
He took as hard as a rip as he could there. Missing it wide left.
This is not where you want to be if you're John Adams. Stuck in front of the cage. As he plays nicely onto the hands of Haley and keeps him at a scoring position. Vidaro back up top to Bundy. He had a lot of time to set his feet on that shot. Under 20 left on the shot clock. 18 to be more specific. Here's Krogan. As that soft pick comes from Vidaro. No need on the run. And wide of the cage it goes. As Haley backs that up, 7 seconds left for the Hoyas. Quick pass to Vidaro inside. And Bundy collects it. And it rings off the stick of Brent Flack.
They tried to rush the shot there. But the Panthers doing a great job on defense to force that shot clock violation. And now you got a chance on offense to tie this game up. We talked about this before the game, Mike. When they get past 3, if this game gets past the 3-goal lead, it's going to get trouble for either side. Whether it's the Panthers or the Hoyas. As of right now, Hoyas leading. If they get 2 more, it might run away from the Panthers, especially here in the fourth quarter.
Definitely don't want to let either team get out on a run. The biggest run we've seen so far in today's game, just a 2-0 run from the High Point Panthers. And the Hoyas quickly clawed their way back from that deficit. It's been a close game throughout, as the Panthers now back on offense, looking for an opportunity to tie this ball game up. Here's Colin Cook looking inside to Meehan. He gets the pass. And it's turned over into the stick of the Hoyas. Here's Halpert. Back to Leary. That pass gets to Carroll. And Haley tiptoes on the end line and stays in bounds. Nice footwork from TJ Haley, as John Adams was all over him.
And I feel like Georgetown plays more comfortably with the lead, especially going along with the way they typically play, slowing down the ball and running the offense, using every second you can on the shot clock. When you have a lead, it takes the pressure off of having to rush at all in any single way. So now you're going to see some of the best Hoyas offense coming out.
Llewellyn across the middle. He finds the top left corner. What a shot on the run from Chase Llewellyn.
Chase Llewellyn gets his second of the game here. Right across the middle. He was not open either. That was a tough shot. Getting trailed by Baird to get that off. It's a high-level shot right there.
It's impressive. These Georgetown Hoyas constantly look for high percentage looks at the cage, and Chase Llewellyn is one of those midfielders who can cash in when needed. 2 goals today for Llewellyn. So we're ready for another face-off, and it's Accardo who wins that one to himself and gives High Point the ball. So here's the Hoyas with a 2-goal lead of their own as they lead 10-8 as we get ready to creep under that 11-minute mark. And you said it, Jimmy, you do not, for either side, want the opposing team to get out to a 3-goal lead. That, frankly, is too big of a deficit with so little time left to come back from. But here's the 2-man invert at X, not used, and they take the invert over on the far wing. So here's Wickstead, gets his second touch of the game, and now to Colin Cook, and the double team comes. A goose to Jack Van Overback, and a smart play from Jack Sawyer as he had Chairs trailing behind. Here's Hines, a high stick, and you got to think a flag comes out for that one, but no penalty called, and here's the Hoyas the other way. Hess moving quickly, Bundy finds another pass, the one more goes! Tic-tac-toe passing from the Georgetown Hoyas, and the sideline goes berserk. A 3-goal lead for the Hoyas, and a timeout called on the field. What great awareness from Graham Bundy. We'll step aside here for a media timeout here in the fourth quarter. 10 minutes left to go, and the Georgetown Hoyas lead by 3. Crown Lacrosse Classic. The second year that tournament, in-season tournament, has been running, and the Panthers will definitely look to seek revenge against former conference foe in Jacksonville.
It's a big face-off here after Aiden Carroll's goal there. That's his 4th of the game. That was a big goal for him and for his team. Kind of putting a little bit of a dagger in them right now. Panthers got to try and find that fight that they found against Syracuse. Only down 3. Plenty of time to do so.
And that's been a problem for the Panthers all season long, is just being able to finish. And the Hoyas are able to do so themselves, as it appears to be Aiden Carroll. Number 19, excuse me, Alexander Vidaro with a laser into the cage. The all-Ivy Leaguer.
Big play. Took the hit after the shot as well. John Adams laying in the shoulder into his chest. But it was too late as Vidaro puts that one in the back of the net.
And a 4-0 run for these Hoyas within the last few minutes of the fourth. We get James Ball going early. And the Panthers get the ball back on offense. It's a 4-goal lead. Bit of a different look for that first midfield line out there. Here's Meehan. Tamaye. Zips that one over to Rizzo. Here's Van Oedex. Pick sent by Rizzo. And Ty Bank swarms all over Van Overbeck. It's Leary guarding Rizzo. One more pass. Not able to be secured. McGurran loses his stick. And the Panthers get the ball back. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Meehan inside, fires, and Moore makes another save. And Maye gets popped on the crease.
Blindsided there. Did not see that coming for himself.
They're letting these boys play, certainly for sure. You'd like to see the flag thrown there. But obviously not, as the Royals get possession and Vidaro.
Looked like a hit to the head there around the crease on Maye. Letting him play, though, as you said.
Back up top for Bundy. And that one goes off the stick of Overin. Take another look at that possible hit. Yeah, that was a clean hit on the crease from Seamus Foley. Just from our vantage point, looked a little bit too fast and a little bit too hard. Nice closeout from John Adams. No feed inside for the Hoyas. With 7:20 left to go, this ball is going to get over the midfield line quick. It's posing the speedster. Finds Maye. And he finds the fellow Canadian in Morin Weeks.
Down but not out, but you got to get things moving quick here, Mike. They're taking their time, playing it smart. But you're down to 6:58. This is a big possession.
And this Hoyas defense has closed out hard around the perimeter today. It's a tough thing to do if you're a defenseman, and Van Overbeck tries to show off some range of his own. 27 seconds on the shot clock as Ian Kane backs that one up. The young freshman, only one goal in his short career in the purple and white. Double comes from Leary, and he tosses it back up top to Hines. Loose ball from Halpert. The lift gets that ball loose.
It's great defense from the Hoyas. Goalie out of net here. This is a chance.
It's great awareness from Moore. So he saw that ball go onto the carpet and took matters into his own hands. And he's done so a few times on the clear. Bundy gets a touch in the box. Which is a rule all lacrosse fans are very thankful for, is finally out of the game. The addition of the shot clock a few years ago. Teams can no longer hold it within the box with 2 minutes left to go, especially when they have a lead. Here's Goldberg. Right back to Cesar, and he finds Goldberg once again. It's Carroll at X. It's been giving Jacob Joy a lot of problems today. It's a hat trick in today's contest. That second slide comes. Ground ball put on the ground over the shoulder from Llewellyn. The no-look shot almost trickles in for the Hoyas. And that would have given him a 5-goal lead as John Adams escapes the pressure. And a forced turnover from this Georgetown ride as the Hoyas slowly starting to captivate the end of this game.
It's been a well-fought battle, but the Hoyas doing everything they can to close this out, using every second of the shot clock. You got to start pressing up if you're the Panthers.
And if you're High Point right now, obviously, you want to be able to get your opportunities on offense, but with these long possessions that the Hoyas are holding on offense, it's putting a damper in things. Here's Jordan Ray, finds Bundy, step down, low bouncer finds the cage, and he's unbelievable.
That's just a fantastic move, Mike. He had him with the hesitation shot, bit on it all the way. Robbie Lang was playing good defense, trailing him, but on that one, he just bit way too hard. Bundy took that one and ripped it.
So a timeout called on the field by head coach John Torpy of the High Point Panthers. And the Georgetown Hoyas currently on a 5-0 run. All thanks to the likes of Chase Llewellyn and Aiden Carroll, as well as Graham Bundy getting involved as well, as he was the last goal scorer most recently for these Hoyas to get them their 13th. And this game slowly becoming out of reach for the High Point Panthers. They stuck with them through 3 quarters. But the Hoyas so far are appearing a little too much for the Panthers to close this game out. And we talked about that a little bit pre-game before the broadcast went on, about how High Point has had many opportunities to take their strides into this season, especially against ranked opponents. They just haven't been able to finish in the end, and that really is all what it boils down to, how you finish down the stretch. And the High Point Panthers have not been able to close out the 4th quarter throughout the duration of this season. They've had a few good wins so far this season. Obviously, some triumph victories versus VMI, Queens, and Cleveland State, but they were brought right back to reality against Syracuse in the national spotlight.
Yeah, and as you said, kind of sticking with the whole Syracuse fight, they fought back and they kept it close till halftime in that 3rd quarter and 4th quarter. That's when Syracuse ran away with it. Here again today, we have Georgetown and High Point. They stick with them all the way through, even lead at certain points against the top 10 team, but they just lose it here in the 4th.
There's Halpert with another big ground ball. He flicks it to Chairs. As pressure is applied onto him. And a timeout once again called on the field. Looks like it's going to be Kevin Warren, the head coach of the Georgetown Hoyas, who takes the timeout here. It's an athletic team that these Hoyas have. And can we talk about the serious drip that Coach Warren had on in the Notre Dame game? The metallic jacket, it was an absolute throwback to the 90s, an era that neither of us were alive for, but certainly one that we look back on and commemorate in that outfit. The metallic jacket, and what was said on that broadcast? 73 pairs of Nikes?
Quinn Kasnich gave us that one.
That the head coach has. That's an impressive closet. I wonder what his closet looks like. It's got to be a nice walk-in.
It's got to be. I'd say it's pretty expensive for 73 Nikes.
And I'm sure
Can't
on
afford that.
the pan-out shot here in a second, when we get back to the field, we'll be able to see what sneaker he's got out.
I was going to say that before. We had him on the camera. We talked a little bit about his stats. I wanted to bring up his shoes, but we didn't show him. I want to see those shoes. I'm sure it'll be something colorful thinking about today. It's nice and warm out, too, so you don't need anything too warm.
We got a nice night here in High Point, North Carolina, as we're creeping under that 3:30-minute mark.
Oh, there they are.
Look at the shoes. He's got some Air Forces on.
Nice gray.
Yeah, were those dunks? Yeah, those are low dunks. Yeah, those
Matching
were low
the fit.
dunks. I've got my Air Forces on right now.
I got dress shoes on.
I'm trying to get to that 73 mark. I think I'm at 3. So 70 more to go. We're going to get there.
You're getting there. You're going to need a whole lot of freelance gigs for that one.
There's never enough. An open goal for the Hoyas as he waves to the crowd goodbye as Vidaro puts a little bit of a dagger into this game.
Little icing on the cake with that one. Vidaro. What's that, his third of the game here? It's got to be a hat trick for him. Yep.
2 players
hat
for
trick
the
for
Hoyas.
Vidaro.
In hat tricks. And that's James Ball winning the initial faceoff. A guy who I had the pleasure of playing with throughout my 4 years at Chaminade High School. An exceptional talent on the field. And he's 3rd all-time in face-off win percentage, only in his first year, transferring over from Yale after a 3-year stint with them, graduated in 3 years from Yale, and then makes his transition over onto the lacrosse field for Georgetown in another nationally ranked team. And he's held them together on the face-off wing. Only 38th in the country in face-off win percentage, but James Ball alone is 25th.
Pretty impressive statistics there for Ball. And we talked about him earlier on and how big he's been for Georgetown, getting the possessions early. We saw it in the first half. He got a lot of early face-off wins for them. It was still a neck-and-neck game. Didn't play as big of a role as we thought it was going to. But as we came to a close, Georgetown started to walk away with it, and could we credit that to a little bit of the face-off wins? I think we can.
No doubt about that. As that pass is sent up top for Llewellyn, he takes an extra step to greatness, and the trail check goes wide. And a man-down opportunity on the way for the Georgetown Hoyas. So their EMO heads out onto the field. And the defensive unit for the man down of the High Point Panthers heads out there as well. Alex Chen, John Adams, Robbie Lang, Zach Brenflack, and Campbell Posen to finish it off for the short stick midfield unit. Here's Vidaro taking the point. Right back to Bundy. .30 seconds on the penalty now on the man up. 1:22 left to go here. Haley holds that ball at X, drains out the rest of this shot clock, and now we're under 20. 6-goal lead. And the Hoyas will just look to possess. And Carroll fires that one into the far left corner. And it's going to be Chris O'Grady stepping into the game for the High Point Panthers in net. Zach Overin gets his rightful rest after a stellar day. But the Hoyas just became way too much here in the fourth for the High Point Panthers. But the Panthers get the ball back on offense, looking to trim this lead down to 5. Spins inside, no angle for Van Overbeck, but it's backed up by Maye. So Rizzo takes his eye off that pass, but gets back under it. Rolls back and hits the carpet.
Sticks flying.
And that ball on the carpet is going to do it. The final ground ball of the game picked up by Chairs. And the number 10 Georgetown Hoyas stay alive on the road as they go home with the win 14-8 off a 6-goal run to end us off here in the fourth.